Hello, good morning, and welcome to today's live trading section with Vetexx. Okay, so if you're here, I was on nice, hope you all slept well. And today, if you're joining us for the first time, this is live trading section with Vetexx, where I analyze the market from analyze the synthetic market, analyze the step indices, volatility indices, and look out for outlook for the day. If there is outlook, if you have a setup, we'll take. If there is no setup, to skip for the day. So, in the process, you get to learn how I trade, basically through technical analysis, and then a few things to consider. So today, uh, it's going to be very educative and interactive. So if you are here and you're joining for the first time, do well to like, to subscribe if you are getting value. And if you have any question at the course of the analysis of this live analysis, do well to ask your question in the comment section and I will answer. So let's dive right into the chart and do market review. Let's say trade that we anticipate that didn't play out and the one that we are looking forward to. If there's going to be a new outlook for the week. Today is the last day of our streaming where because it's always from Monday to Friday, weekend visit to study. So let's dive right into the charts and let's begin. So first of all, there are about 15 to 20 trades we analyze every day, volatility indices and the step indices. So we'll be starting from, we don't have any setup we are looking at for at the moment. So we'll start with the one at hand. We'll check from the volatility indices. If you are done with the volatility indices, if there is more time, we'll go to the step indices. So starting from VTNS, the first uh, best on our watch list. So I will be checking out VTNS and see if there is a setup. So first of all, before I begin, remember the algo market structure where we always have a, a sweep of liquidity, break of structure to the opposite direction, a 50% retracement, break of second structure to the opposite direction, and then we have price taking out this liquidity and continue to move to the opposite direction. So before we take any trade, we always do what they call the top-down analysis. Always look out for where the price is coming from and where the price is what going to. So that way we can always follow the trend because we don't do buy to sell and sell to buy. So when we have a system like this, okay, we always know that this, okay, let's say take for example, this is the monthly time frame. Okay, this is the monthly time frame setup, right? This right here is going to be our starting point, and this right here is going to be what our finish point. All right. So this is point A, this is point A right here, and this is point B. So upon marking this, we always have this. Okay, this becomes what our sweep of liquidity, which is right here, because the algo market structure has 5 rows. There must be a sweep of liquidity. Then we have our protected high, right? And then there must be what a break of structure to the opposite direction. So each of the liquidity need to have what a break of what structure, and then we have a protected high. Sorry, a structural liquidity, which is our second liquidity, and it needs to be sweep out. And also we have what our second break of structure, which is right here, and this becomes what our point of interest. All right. Now, if you are looking for this, if if you want to trade this setup right now, if this is on the weekly time frame, on the 24-hour time frame, on the daily time frame, since from the rules of the advanced market structure, if price take out the structural liquidity on the higher time frame, you're always going to know that the work of structural liquidity when price take it out, it simply means the next move is price is going to continue to the opposite direction. So we'll have price moving to this starting point. Remember, this is the starting point. This spot of interest is the starting point. So price will have to move from this zone, move until this swing low is taken out. Now the target has been hit. So this is basically how the active market structure work. But now for us to take a trade, all right, there are several confirmation we need to look out for. We need to look out for continuation setup, We need to look out for our confirmation in the PY. We need to look out for different confirmation strategy that we always use to take this trade. Okay, like taking the supply and demand confirmation pattern and all of those things. Okay, so if this is a weekly time frame, all right, we always have to look for a continuation setup, and once it's formed, we will now ride the trade to the downside. So take for example, this this pair is already trending on the week. Let's say you have this setup on the weekly time frame, okay, and then it has already started selling, and then you find the 4 hour time frame or a 24-hour time frame. The next thing for you to do is to look out for continuation setup on the 4 hour time frame or that 24-hour time frame or the 1 hour time frame. So the continuation setup need to form on the 1 hour time frame in such a way like this. To find it this way, it's basically looking out for this same setup, this same pattern you see on the higher time frame. Alright, you look out for it on the lower time frame, which is around the 1 hour time frame or the 30 minutes time frame. So you wait for this structure like this to form. Okay, and once this structure form, you now have your new what? Let me take this out. You now have your new what? Your new sweep of liquidity, which is going to be this. Alright, and then your structural liquidity is going to be this, and then this becomes your new point of interest, and this here becomes your what? Another. This becomes your uh, protected, and this becomes your new point of interest. Now, what are you going to do? You are going to take this and hold it to the downside. So your entry will be somewhere around here. So your entry will be somewhere around this point, and then this is going to be your target. All right. Now you anticipate for price to come back into this zone and then sell off, smash the target. Okay, so this is what you look out for on the lower time frame. This is going to be your 4 hour time frame, your 24-hour time frame. This is structure. You look out for it as your confirmation on the 1 hour time frame, on the 30 minutes time frame, and then you wait for price to tap into your point of interest, and then look out for your confirmation. Okay, it could be a demand, it could be the supply, it could be a confirmation pattern that will form, it could be your candlestick formation. Then once price gives you that or a change of character in the point of interest, then you'll take the sell, the downside, right? So that is basically how you trade the algo market structure in the most simplified way. So the same thing you look out for when you want to sell is the same thing you look out for whenever you intend to buy. Okay, so that is exactly how this always happens. All right. So now back to the charts. I'll be taking this out. This video is always going to be available on YouTube, so you can always watch it. Now, based on top-down analysis, first of all, you need to understand where the price is coming from and where it is going to. All right. That day I was saying a lot of people want to buy from this zone because, take for example, this is the 24-hour time frame, right? And then we have what? A protected high here, and then we have what? A sweep of liquidity here, and then we have a structural liquidity here, and this becomes what? Our point of interest, right? And I was saying a lot of people want to sell from this zone, all right? Want to sell this pair from this zone, but there's 90% chances that it is not going to hold because why? Based on top-down analysis, VTMS is bullish on the weekly time frame, and the target has not yet been taken out. That is why price come to this buy a sell zone, it reacts and then it didn't hold. So because of that, because of the trend is bullish on the weekly time frame and structural liquidity, which is this structural liquidity was taken out on the weekly time frame first, it's going to respect it until the target is taken out before we can start buying, before we can start selling. So if the weekly time frame structure target has been taken out, there is high chances that this sell would have hold. But because of it has not been taken out yet, we are sticking to the trend. So that is how you stick with trend. Okay, you trade with trend. If a trend is because when you do your top down analysis and you are bullish on the particular pair, there is no need for you to sell unless you just want to be taking losses. So that is why this trade did not hold. So now what do we look out for? Instead of looking for sell when the buy on the weekly time frame is not yet completed, we start looking for what? We start looking for buy instead. So now on the 24-hour time frame, clearly we can see that we have what? A sweep of liquidity, which is here, and then we have what? A structural liquidity, which is right here, and this here becomes what? Our protected low. Okay, and first of all, you can see something here, which is that this is sweep of liquidity number one. Sorry, break of structure, first break of structure, and this becomes for second break of structure. Mind you, this is happening on the daily time frame. So this is the daily time frame structure for the buy that we have, and this point here becomes what? Our point of interest. So what are we anticipating next? Anticipating price to drop into this zone, into this zone. All right, give us the continuation structure on the 1 hour time frame this way, come down here, and then we buy to the upside. So once price come here, we'll just sit on our hands and wait for this. Okay, now this will become our what? A new, excuse me. Okay, then we'll have a structure like this that we'll work with. All right, this is our continuation. This zone becomes our continuation. This is what we look out for when price tap into the point of interest. Exactly this same pattern is what we look out for. This one I just circled, what we look out for. Now this becomes our new sweep of liquidity. This becomes what? Our structural liquidity. This becomes our protected low. All right. Yes, and this becomes what? Our new point of interest. So when price tap into this point of interest, we'll be anticipating our confirmation, then we'll say, all right. So for the sake of this class, I'm not going to be teaching my confirmation entry or supply and demand. That is especially for my uh, student. Okay, so if you want to be my student, then you are going to learn more about my confirmation entry. But for the purpose of this, there is any confirmation entry you can use. I've already explained confirmation entry in the playlist on this channel. Just go to the playlist section and check advanced market structure. I explain confirmation entry, all everything you need to know. All right, and if you want a one-on-one mentorship, you can always hit me up and I'll put you through that too. Uh-huh. So once we have this pattern form, remember this same pattern that is here is the same thing that is here on the lower time frame. So once price comes into this zone, we'll put our long toes and then anticipate for price to give a continuation on the 1 hour time frame. Then what do we do next? We wait for price to do all of these things, come into this zone, give a confirmation, and then buy to the upside, right? And then buy to the upside. So this is exactly what we're anticipating on VTNS on the 24-hour time frame. So on the 24-hour time frame, this is what we're anticipating on VTNS. So this is the first structure we have on VTNS. So be on the lookout for this. Be on the lookout for this VTNS on the 24-hour time frame. So let's check the 4-hour time frame if there is any recent price action that we can also work with. There's any recent one we can work with, that is still fine by me. So let's check this. This is not so clear. What about this? I'm checking if the structural liquidity is up to 50%. Okay, yeah, this is we can work with this. If you have been joining my live session, you will discover that this particular setup, we've marked it more than how many times, but price is yet to come to our point of interest. So we have this point of interest here, and still anticipating this price to come into this zone. We haven't gotten it yet, so we'll be on the lookout. So this is another part. So we have a 24-hour time frame POI, and then we have a 4-hour time frame POI. So this is all we have on V10S. All right. This is all we have on V10S. So the next pair we are going to be checking is what V10. Let's see what we have on V10. So on V10, starting from the 24-hour time frame, look like price change trend. So on the 24-hour time frame, there is no structure on the 24-hour time frame. We go to the 4-hour time frame and check if we have a setup on the 4-hour time frame. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, there is nothing on the 4-hour time frame. So let's check the 2-hour time frame. Okay, on the 2-hour time frame, there is nothing. Lastly, the 1-hour time frame, if you see anything. On this time frame, still we don't have anything on the 1-hour time frame. So there is nothing on V10 at the moment. So we check V15S. What do we have on V15S? Starting from the 24-hour time frame, V15S is bearish. All right, but we can't spot any setup on the 24-hour time frame. So we'll go to the 4-hour time frame and check. Like I said, V15S, there was a sell we anticipating, but price never came back to the zone to play that. So we have a sweep of liquidity here, and then we have what? A structural liquidity right here, and we have our protected high, which is here. Okay, and this is what our first break of structure, and this is what our second break of structure. So this becomes what? Our next point of interest, which we are anticipating. Remember, whenever price take out the structural liquidity, the next thing for it to do is to continue to the opposite direction, because liquidity is money. So all of this that is being created, they are all liquidity that need to be taken out. Okay, so immediately it was taken out, continue to the opposite direction, because there is more money to push the market. So there was a setup here, our continuation setup that formed around here on the 1-hour time frame, but price never came back to that entry again. So for that, we were not able to take the trade. Okay, so price never came back. So this was considered as a mixed entry. So there's nothing. So currently, we don't have anything on V15 index. There is absolutely nothing on V15 index at the moment. Okay. So the next pair we are going to be checking out is what? V25-1 index. V25-1 index. What do we have on V25-1 index? Starting from the 24-hour time frame. V25-1 index has been on the bullish move on the 24-hour time frame. So there's no setup, we can't spot any setup on the 24-hour time frame. So we'll go to the next time frame, which is the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, what do we have? All right, let me take this out quickly. If you can open your eye clearly, we have our sweep of liquidity, which is row number 1. There must be a sweep of liquidity, which is this. Row number 2, there must be a break of structure to the opposite direction. This is the break of structure to the opposite direction. Rule number 3, there must be what? A structure liquidity, a 50% retracement. So after this break of structure, there was a 50% retracement. And how I measure that this is a 50% retracement is to use my Fibonacci tool from the protected low to this new high from where this retracement started. Now you can see this is 50% retracement. This 50% retracement. So there must be a 50% retracement, which is this. We have a 50% retracement, and then there must be what second break of structure, which we have this. So this becomes what our protected low, and now we have our new point of interest, which is this. Okay, so what is the next thing for us to do? Anticipating price to tap into this zone, give us our continuation entry, and then we take the buy to the upside like this. Anticipating price to come into this zone, and then we take the buy to the upside like this. This is going to be our TP number 1, and this is going to be TP number 2, which is the overall TP. So this is exactly what we'll be anticipating, right? This same pattern you see is the same thing you just need to look out for whenever price get to this zone. So it's going to be something like this. This will become your new what? Ship of liquidity. This will become your new structural liquidity. This is quite simple, right? So trading synthetic indices is all about having the knowledge, pure knowledge, and then you master it with time. Okay. So if you are watching this video and you are getting value, make sure you leave a like on this, and don't forget to do the important thing, which is subscribe, turn on your notifications so you don't miss out my live analysis. So we have what our new point of interest, which is this. So what is the next thing for us to anticipate? For price, let me take this out. So we anticipate for price to come into this zone and then buy to the upside. So this is all we are anticipating on V25 one index. Alright. So the next I'm going to be checking out is what? So this is what we have on V25 one index. Can mark it. Alright. I'm gonna share it to the group. Okay, I've already saved it. So this is what we anticipate on V25 one index. Let me take all of this out. Yeah, let me save this. So the next pair we're going to be checking is what? V25. What do we have on V25? V25 on the 24-hour time frame is bearish. So currently we don't have anything. There's nothing we can trade yet until price give us a continuation setup. Let's see on the 4-hour time frame. Then we'll look for our continuation on the 1-hour time frame, or a continuation on the 1 hour, and then another continuation on the 1 hour. So this is what we have on V25 one index. V25, but this is the type 2 setup. Because why is it type 2 setup? Because there is only one break of structure. Alright. So this is the type 2 setup. So what I'm anticipating next is price on the 4-hour time frame should just give us a structure like this on the 4-hour time frame. Alright. And then come here so we can take our sell to the downside. So this is what I'm anticipating currently on the 4-hour time frame, on the 1-hour time frame, on the 2-hour time frame, depending on the time frame that you want to give us a sell top from. Remember, you don't need to force any setup. Make sure everything is clear as day, and then you have confidence in taking your trade. So this is what I'm anticipating on V25 one index. So until the price do that, right, we'll be on the lookout. So the next pair we'll be checking is what? V31S. V31S on the other hand, what do we have? V31S was bullish on the weekly time frame. Sorry, on the daily time frame, because we have what? A sweep of liquidity, which is here, and then we have what? A structural liquidity, which is here, and then we have our protected high, which is here, and this was becomes our what? Point of interest. So this is what our first break of structure, and this is what our second break of structure. This is the starting point. This is the starting point, and this is the finish point. You can see that price sold off from here, almost at TP. Then it went back to PY. Went back to PY. So if you're holding this trade, this point you should have been out already. But then on the 4 hour time frame, price came back to the point of interest and then give a structure, which we have this. Let me take this out. We have this on the 4 hour time frame. There is a sweep of liquidity, which is this. We have our protected high here, our first break of structure here, and then we have what our structural liquidity, which is here, and then our second break of structure, which was this. And this zone becomes what point of interest. So this becomes our new starting point, and this is our new finish point, which is down below here. This is our new finish point, which is here. All right. Now, looking at this, what is the next thing for us to do? We will not just jump into this trade here to start selling from this point. All we have to do is to wait for our continuation setup, then we'll be able to take this trade. So on this 4 hour time frame, we'll go to the 1 hour time frame, all right, and see if price has given us the continuation setup. But the continuation setup price is trying to give here is not yet valid. So we sit on our hands until price is able to give us this move like this, take out this all of this high, and then come here, give us a break of structure. All right, come here, give us a break of structure as a structural liquidity, and then we'll be able to take this trade. So it's going to be something like this. If price comes to this zone, give us this, right? This now will become what our new sweep of liquidity, all right, all right, and then this is going to be what our break of structure, which is going to be here, which is going to be this way, and this is going to be our new protected high, right? Then this is our structural liquidity. So this is going to be our new what point of interest in this zone. In this zone. Alright. So until price do this, then we know that okay, we are ready to go in for the sell. So this is our TP, our TP, our SL will be somewhere around that side, and then we'll hold the trade all the way down. Alright. If you count it, because this is going to be our TP1, this is going to be TP2, and the overall is going to be a TP3. So depends on your risk appetite. If you want to hold it at that time, fine. But if you have done your risk to reward that you always do, you can get out of the trade. But remember, price have to give us this first. A sweep. This is already a sweep. So price need to break out this, take out all this liquidity, and give us a protected high, give us a structural liquidity, give us a break of structure, and then tap into the zone before selling to the downside. You can see how everything is as clear as day, simple as it is. I can't actually say simple because it might take you time to understand the whole of this, but it is quite simple. So price need to give us this first on the higher time frame before we can embark on any sale. Alright, so if price didn't do that, we'll be on the lookout until price give us another structure below here, and then we'll still look out for a confirmation entry, then we'll take the trade. So currently we don't have anything on V31, so just be on the lookout for this thing that I just explained to happen before we'll be able to say we want to take a trade on V on V31 index. So the next pair we'll be checking now is what? Let's see. It's V51 index. What do we have on V51 index? Let's check it out. On V51 index, starting from the 24-hour time frame, we have the market has been moving, has been on a bullish move for the longest. It was bullish on the weekly time frame, but the weekly time frame target was taken out, and then it started another move on the what? On the daily time frame. All right. So price actually started buying from this zone, started buying from this zone, and then the target was here. Target was here. Took it out, smashed the target, and then since then, price never came back. All right, price didn't came back. So if you go to the, if you check again, you see that after price move, it give us a continuation, which we have what? A sweep of liquidity on a daily time frame here, and then we have our structural liquidity here. We have what? Our break of structure, which is this first break of structure, and this is our second break of structure. So using my Fibonacci retracement, is the structural liquidity up to 50%? So let's find out from here to this zone. Yes, it's up to 50%. Okay, and then this becomes what? Our protected low. This becomes our protected low, and this zone here becomes what? Our point of interest. All right. Now look at it. So price will have to come to this zone, give us a continuation, and then we'll buy to the upside. All right. So now, do we have anything? This is the 24-hour time frame. Let's check the 4-hour time frame and see if what we mark is even more okay. It's even more clearer on the 4-hour time frame. So this is it. All right. This is it on the 4-hour time frame. This is the 4-hour time frame. This is the 4-hour time frame. All right. So now let's go to, there is a cell structure here on the 4-hour time frame, which I was supposed to call this morning, but something happened. Price invalidated the point of interest. So once price invalidated my point of interest, I no longer take the trade. So we have this structural liquidity and we have this protected low. So we have this, and then we have this here. So the reason I didn't take the trade was because price invalidated my demand zone, so I could not take the trade. So on the 15 minutes time frame, price gave a continuation setup, but I was not interested in the trade because I don't see it as something that's going to hold. Right? Price took out my structural liquidity, my protected low. So this is the continuation entry. We have a sweep here, and then we have what? Structural liquidity here, and then we have this protected low, right? So once price take out my protected low, it automatically is already an SL. So before giving out the confirmation, this happened. So this is not a trade that will be taken. You can see my SL was supposed to be around here, but price took it out, so it's no longer valid. So this is how I was supposed to hold the trade from this zone all the way to this place. But unfortunately, the protected low was taken out before confirmation was even given. So this is it. So it's not valid anymore. So the next pair I'll be checking now is what? That is all with V51S. There's nothing on V51S. So we'll be checking V50. So V50 on the V50 on the 24-hour time frame is bearish. Has been bearish for the longest. Smashed the P on the 24-hour time frame a while ago. Okay, so it was actually selling from this point, which is where we have our sweep of liquidity hidden somewhere here, and then we have our protected high around here, and we have our structural liquidity here. So this becomes our what? First break of structure, and this becomes second break of structure, and this was our points of interest. So immediately price tapped into the point of interest on the daily time frame, it went down to the target. But if you scale down to the 4-hour time frame and the 1-hour time frame, there are a series of sells and continuations before price take out the initial target. So this is why top down analysis is good, because this is on the 24-hour time frame. You already know this is the starting point and this is the finish point. So no matter how long it takes, price is always going to take out the finish point, because you already know where the price is coming from and where it's going to. So you keep looking for sales until this target is taken out. Now, on the 24-hour time frame, the target is finished. So what do we look out for next? Go to the 4-hour time frame and check if there is a continuation setup that we can work with again. So currently what we have here on the 4-hour time frame, okay, on the 4-hour time frame, there's nothing showing clearly on the 4-hour time frame. So we'll go to the what? The 2-hour time frame and check if we spot any setup. So on the 1 hour, on the 2-hour time frame, there is a sweep of liquidity here on the 2-hour time frame, and then there is a protected high here. We have what? Our first break of structure, sorry, this, and then we have structural liquidity on our second break of structure. This becomes our point of interest. So as usual, we anticipate price to come into this zone, give us a continuation setup, and then we look out for confirmation inside the continuation before we take the sell. So if price doesn't hold here, there is another point of interest above, which is this, which is this. So we're going to look out for this and this. So this is what we have on V50 on the 2-hour time frame. So this is what we have on V50. So the next pair we'll be looking at V75 1 index. On V75 1 index, starting from the 24-hour time frame, price was selling from the 24-hour time frame around here. We have a sell setup around here. This is the starting point, and then the finish point is here. But price is here to take out this finish point this way. Price is here to take out this finish point before retracing. So if you look closely on the 4-hour time frame, there is a sell setup on the 4-hour time frame, which we have our sweep here, and then a protected high here, and this is what? Structural liquidity, and this is our point of interest. So price has tapped into this zone, but we are still looking for our continuation setup to form before we start engaging with this sell. Alright, so this is what we have on V75 finance on the 4-hour time frame. So the next we'll be checking is what? V75. What do we have on V75? V75 on the other hand has been bullish starting from the 24-hour time frame. There is no setup on the 24-hour time frame. We check the 4-hour time frame. What do we have on 4-hour time frame? On the 4-hour time frame, clearly we have a sweep of liquidity here, and then we have our structural liquidity here, and this is what our protected low, and this is our point of interest. So we're anticipating price to tap into this point of interest before we start looking for what? Start looking for buys. Once price tap into this zone, we look out for what our continuation setup before we start engaging in any buy. Alright. And then there's another setup below where we have our sweep of liquidity right below here, and then our structural liquidity here, protected low sitting right here, and we have point of interest here. Okay, so this is, if price doesn't respect this point of interest, definitely it's going to respect this one. So be on the lookout for the two of them. So this is what we have on V75. All right. So as price is approaching and giving continuation, I will update in the Telegram community. So if you are yet to join the Telegram, if you are watching this video on replay, the link to join the Telegram is in the description of this video. You can always look it out and then join it. And if you are new to synthetic indices and you want to register with the broker Deriv so that you can trade synthetic indices, the link to register is in the description of this video. You can use the link, my link there, to register and get your own account so that you'll be able to have access to these synthetic pairs. Then you can trade them. So this is what we have on V75. So the next pair we're checking is what? V91S. What do we have on V91S? So V91S, what do you have on V91S? V91S on the daily time frame has been bearish. Alright. Daily time frame has been bearish on V91S. And then on the 4-hour time, let's check the 1-hour time frame. What do you have on the 1-hour time frame on V91S? Okay, on the 1-hour time frame, clearly we have what? A sweep of liquidity, which is this. Remember, the highest high before the protected high is your sweep of liquidity. We have a we have a protected high here, and we have what our structural liquidity, which is right here, and then we have this becomes what our point of interest. Our price has already taken out the structural liquidity and is trying to move to the opposite direction. So what are we looking at for next? This is what our first break of structure, and this is our second break of structure. Now, is this continuation a valid continuation? Let's find out. Let's switch to the 30 minutes time frame and check if this is valid. So let me check from here. On this protected high all the way to this zone. Okay, we have a setup finally on V91S. So this is good. Alright, so we have this. Okay, so this is what we have on V91S. This becomes what? Our new sweep of liquidity. This is going to be our new sweep of liquidity on V91S. Alright. This is the continuation structure. So on the 15 minutes time frame, we have. So using my Fibonacci retracement, this is up to 50%. Alright. So we have mark from this protected high from this zone here to this zone. This is up to what 50% retracement. Alright, so this is going to be our new structure on V91S. We have this. and then sorry about the network. So we are at V91s. Let me start all over from V91s. So on the 1 hour time frame, like I said earlier, we have this on the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, we have what? We have a super liquidity here. Remember, I can always use this as my super liquidity, but this since this is higher than this the highest high before the protected high is always considered as our super liquidity. So this is all I'm going to mark out. All right, so this is our super liquidity. This is the protected high. Okay, and then we have this uh, structural liquidity. So this is our what first break of structure, which is this, and this is what second break of structure, which is this. All right, and then we have this. Remember, price take out the structural liquidity, which is this point of interest, and it's about to start moving to the opposite direction, right? So this, if this price respect our rules, this is the starting point, and this is going to be the finish point. So this is point A, and this is point B. All right. Now from here, if you get to the 30 minutes time frame, because this is a 1 hour structure, if you get to the 30 minutes time frame, do we have a continuation setup? Of course we do. So now this is going to be the new sweep for the continuation setup. So I'm going to mark this all the way from here to this zone here. So this is going to be the new sweep, right? And using the Fibonacci retracement tool from the protected high to the break of the second structure, is it up to 50%? So I'm going to mark it from here to this zone. You can see clearly that is up to 50%. So this becomes what? Let me take it to 15 minutes time frame. This becomes what? Our structural liquidity, and this becomes what? Our new what? Protected high. All right. So this now serve as our what? Break of structure. This is our new point of interest. So we're anticipating price to tap into this zone, give us the confirmation, and then drop to the downside. Okay. So this is what we have on V91s. So be on the lookout for this. If price come and give a confirmation, definitely will sell this V91s. So it's a valid setup, a very valid setup. All right. So this is what we have on V91s. So you'll be waiting for my calls. If price respect our rules, every of our rules, I will let you know whether to buy or whether to sell. So this is what we have on V91s. Okay, so this is all about V91s. So I'll be marking this and then sending it to the community. So we have this and V91S. So the next pair we're checking is what? V100. Let's check no V100 one is. What do you have on V100 1S? Okay, V100 1S at the moment from the 24-hour time frame, V100 1S is bearish. From the weekly time frame is bearish, and from the 24-hour time frame is bearish as well. So why is it bearish? Looking closely, we see that we have what our sweep of liquidity on the 24-hour time frame, and then we have a protected high which is here, and we have what a structural liquidity which is right here. Okay, so this is our first break of structure down below here, which is around here, right? And then we have our second break of structure. So this is an A plus setup on the 24-hour time frame. So we have this on the 24-hour time frame. So scrolling to the 4-hour time frame, it's also going to be clear on the 24-hour time frame. So this is the starting point on the 24-hour time on the 4-hour time frame, or okay, on the 4-hour time frame. And this is the finish point. Finish point is here. So this is our point of interest. Price has taken out the point of interest and is now selling to the downside. So we have this. So since we don't have a setup on the 4-hour time frame yet, okay, we have a setup here which is okay. This is also considered as a valid setup. Where this is a type 2 setup. So we can still work with this. We have a remember this is not a continuation anymore. We have a sweep here, and then we have what a structural liquidity here, and this is our new protected high, which is this. So this is our new what point of interest. This is another new point of interest. So price will either come into this zone, give it continuation and sell, or we'll still scale down and see if you find another setup. So there is another one here. So this is also serve as what a protected high, and this is a sweep of liquidity. This is on a 2-hour time frame, and then a structural liquidity, and this is our new what point of interest. So we always look out for our continuation setup whenever price tap into it. So this is PY1 and this is PY2. So whichever one price respects, we'll work together with it. So this is what we have on V100 one index, because price is selling from here and there's higher chances that price is going to take out this target. Okay. So this is what we have on V100 one S. So the next we'll be checking out is what V100, which is the last volatility indices. So V100 has been bearish from the 24-hour time frame. Like I did this analysis since on the 26th of January, where we have what a sweep of liquidity, which is around this zone, and then we have a protected high, which is around this zone, and this is our structural liquidity. Our first break of structure sitting here, and this is our second break of structure here. And what the price do, immediately price take out the structural liquidity is this what continues to the opposite what direction. And scaling down to the 4-hour time frame, do we have any other setup that we'll be looking out for? Currently, we don't have anything on the 4-hour time frame. So we'll go to the 2-hour time frame if we find something tangible. So on the 2-hour time frame, what do we have? Okay, we have what a sweep of liquidity, which is this. We have our protected high, which is this, and then we have structural liquidity, which is this one, and this is what our what point of interest. So we are anticipating price to tap into this zone, right? Give a continuation setup and then drop to the downside, right? So this is what we're anticipating on V100 on the 2-hour time frame. So you mark this and be on the lookout for this. So we are done with volatility indices, and so far we have only one setup on the V91S. The rest will be on the lookout for them. Price coming to the point of interest, I will drop them in the Telegram community if that doesn't happen from now till tomorrow. So what do we have next? So we move on to step indices. Our time is almost up. So we start from step indices, step index one. So from step index one, what do we have on step index one? So from the 24-hour time frame, price has just been bullish. There is no direction. We don't have our valid setup at the moment. So we'll go to the 4-hour time frame. What do we have on 4-hour time frame? There is nothing on the 4-hour time frame. The 2-hour time frame, do we have anything? We still don't have anything on the 2-hour time frame. Okay, so nothing currently on step index 100. So we'll go towards step 200. Step 200, what do we have on step 200? Step 200 is bearish on the 24-hour time frame. Step 200 is this is a bearish move from step 200 on the 24-hour time frame. So we have what a sweep of liquidity here. Excuse me. We have a sweep of liquidity here on the 24-hour time frame, and then we have structural liquidity here, and we have our protected high, which is this. This becomes our what? First break of structure, and this is second break of structure. So this becomes point of interest. So go down to the 1-hour time frame. If we have a continuation setup on step 100, on step 200 on the 1-hour time frame, do we have a continuation setup? On the 1-hour time frame, we currently do not have a continuation setup on step 200. So we'll wait this out and see if it's going to give another continuation before price taking out the overall target. So this is what we have on step 200. All right. So we'll be on the lookout for step 200 on the 1-hour time frame. So the next is what step 300. Step 300 is bullish on the weekly time frame. So starting from the 24-hour time frame, we don't have any setup on the 24-hour time frame. We'll go to the 4-hour time frame. If we have a setup on the 4-hour time frame, there is nothing here too. So yes, we have a setup on the 4-hour time frame where we have a sweep of liquidity here, structural liquidity, sorry, protected low structural liquidity, and then a sweep of liquidity which is here, and then our point of interest. So we're anticipating price to tap into this zone and then do the necessary, which is the continuation entry we always anticipate on the 1-hour time frame. So once that is done, we'll look out for confirmation for the buy. So this is what we have on step 300. So be on the lookout for this. The next is what step 400. What do you have on step 400? Starting from the 24-hour time frame, step 400 is bullish. All right, on the 4-hour time frame, do we have a continuation setup? We don't have a continuation setup yet. On the 1-hour time frame, do we have anything? We don't have anything on the 1-hour time frame. We don't have anything on the 1-hour time frame. So we'll go to step 500. Okay, step 500 on the 24-hour time frame. Step 500 smash TP, not quite long, and there is nothing on the 24-hour time frame. So we'll go to the 4-hour time frame. We see our setup here. On the 4-hour time frame, there is no setup. So check the 2-hour time frame. We don't have a setup on the 2-hour time frame. So last but not the least, the 1-hour time frame. If you are going to see anything. Yes, on the 1 hour time frame, we have a setup, which is we have a sweep of liquidity, which is this, and then we have a structural liquidity, which is this, and a protected high, which is right here. So this is our point of interest. This is the starting point, and this is the finish point on the what? On the 1 hour time frame on step 500. So we anticipate price to tap into this zone, give us a continuation entry this way, and then sell to the downside. So this is what we're anticipating on step 500. So the only setup we'll be looking at for currently is what step is B91s. So this is what we have on this. So we've come to the end of today's live analysis. So if you're watching this video on replay, do it to like, do it to subscribe, and join the Telegram community. So I'll see you all tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m. I'll see you all next week, which is on Monday, 10 a.m. And make sure to be active in the Telegram community for all of this so you don't miss out on any setup. So while live, I can say awesome session. Thank you and do have a nice day. Bye.